Hello everyone, welcome to .NET Training Academy. In this video, we are basically going to learn about LINQ, which is Language Integrated Query. It is introduced by Microsoft .NET. So what is LINQ? LINQ is used to query data from various data sources. The LINQ basically used to interpret data and also to analyze data and also to query the data. We basically have an application. It may be a web, desktop, mobile, some sort of application which requires a data source. So basically we use LINQ to query the data source. The data source in many forms like C# objects and XML, JSON, SQL, entities like entity framework entities, and it may be from the Excel. So not only this, there are a lot of many data sources LINQ can be supported. So one of the advantages of using LINQ is we can basically use SQL for retrieving the data from the databases. But when it comes to other sorts of data sources, it's really become very hard to fetch the data without using the API like LINQ. So LINQ provides the very fantastic features and a lot of extension methods which makes the life a lot easier for the developers. So basically, the LINQ is classified into two main categories. One is query expression and another one is method expression. We cannot say this as a category, but there is two forms we can able to write LINQ. The query expression is one sort of programming LINQ to fetch or to interpret the data. And method expression, which is extension methods, is the another sort of another form of playing around with the LINQ. So the first, we will talk about the query expression. When it comes to query expression, the syntax is very similar to SQL, just like this. For example, we are having a range variable from range variable, and we are fetching that range variable from a collection. The collection may be enumerable or iQueryable, and we use query operators like where, then, some sort of query operators, and we use some expression. It may be the lambda expression or conditional expression. And the next thing is we are selecting the data using the select or group by operator, and we're just issuing that thing in a result information. And this is very similar to SQL, but the only thing is it's very reverse of SQL. So that is the whole point. And another thing is extension method or method expression, which is very easier when it comes to programming in C#. If you are not familiar with SQL, you can stick with this kind of thing, but both the things works very perfectly. You're having a collection object, and then you're having the extension method. Like you can have a number of extension methods. So now let's see what are the things that we can actually do using LINQ. We can filter a data, we can sort a data, we can group a number of entities, and we can join number of tables or entities, and we can also project a data using the select or select any, select many, those kind of things. We can aggregate, we can do some statistical things using LINQ, and we can also use the quantifiers like all data if we want to fetch all data, if we want to fetch any data, so some sort of things. And we can also use a set operator elements, partitioning the data and concatenating the data, equality, generation, conversion. We can do all sorts of things using LINQ. So enough talking. Now let's get our hands dirty into the code for learning LINQ. Now we will learn how LINQ works. Instead of teaching LINQ in basic command prompt or some sort of LINQ pad, it's much more real and interactive way to learn LINQ in a web application. So I just created a web application, and basically I just connected it to database. So I'm just going to just go through the overview about this particular application and what I have done until now. So basically I'm using ASP.NET Core 3.0. You can also fetch this source code from the GitHub, which is down below in the link. And I just connected this application to the database, which is an online database, and then I created a couple of models. One is department and another one is employee. And then now we're going to talk about the application DB context. This is the gateway between the database and our application. We are providing the gateway using the Entity Framework Core ORM. And if you don't know about these kind of things, you can watch my Entity Framework course, and you can come back here. But it's not a big deal. You don't need to get scared of these things. But the only point is you are now here to learn about how LINQ works. So you don't need to bother about any of these things. And when it comes to home controller, I just injected an object in the constructor to make use of this database context throughout my application. So this is the things that I've done until now, and I just applied some sort of views, HTML views and CSS over here, but you can make use of that, all the source code, and over here. And what you can do after downloading the stuff from the GitHub, all you need to do is to do the .NET restore, and then .NET build, just to check whether everything is correct without any errors. Okay, that's fine. So finally, .NET watch run, and here you can see the output, which has a LINQ and a couple of LINQ for basic query syntax and extension methods. And that's it. So first we just going to learn how basic query syntax works. So for that, I'm going to create an action in the name of basic query syntax. Okay, so I'm going to return a view. Basically it means we are just returning the data, which it renders the data into the HTML form. Okay, so okay, now we are going to create an expression. So the expression, I already told you about the syntax. Fetch the data of the employee whose salary between 15,000 to 50,000. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So emp data is equal to e in underscore context dot employees, which is the DB set, and where e dot salary is less than or equal to 15,000, and query. Okay, here I'm just creating a lambda expression with a query of with the condition of salary between 15,000 to 50,000, and finally the select operator with a result variable. So this is it, and now here I'm going to pass this data over here. Okay, so that's fine. Now what we are going to do is to create a view in the name of basic query syntax dot cshtml, and that's how we can do. So here basically we are just going to add that particular model namespace over here. Though we are passing the enumerable data, we have to collect this data using the enumerable. So here website link dot models dot employee. Okay, and then here I'm just going to paste and just uncomment this thing. So what I'm doing here is I'm just created a table with the columns of name, first name, salary, and then I'm just iterating the model, which is this model, in the form of item, and here I'm just iterating this particular model which we are passing over the controller action to the view, and that model which has been collected over here, and that will be iterated over here according to this particular expression. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So now let's just check that out, reload this page. Now here, go to the layout page and keep the query over here, like slash, no, we can make use of this ASP action basic query syntax and ASP controller, which is going to be the home. So if you don't know about these kind of things, no worry, and the next video tutorial is going to be the basics and the advanced stuffs about the ASP.NET Core. In that you will be able to know about everything, but now all you need to do, yeah, here's the semicolon. Okay, now let's just reload this stuff. Click here to see the view. Yeah, this is it. Perfect, right? So these are all the employees whose salary between let's just change the color over here instead of just like this, using the method expression. Okay, so let's just do that. So change that to method expression or expression method, whatever you can call, and I'm just going to remove this thing, and what I'm going to do is to use the context.employees dot where, and the rest of the condition is going to be the same. I'm going to copy this stuff over here, paste it over there, file, and click dot to list over here. And what you can do, you have to create a lambda expression over there, and here it is. And now we have to create the new file, method expression.cs HTML, and over there I'm just going to copy all of these things from here and paste, change this to method expression, right? Okay, and also going to add the link over here. ASP action is going to be the method expression, and the ASP controller is going to be the home. So now we can click some error. Let's just, oh no, we should not make this expression. So save the file. Here is the same result, which is coming from both the query expression as well as the method expression, but the only thing varies is the syntax between each of these. And if you talk about any pros and cons, in my point of view, there is nothing needed over here. If you are really strong in handling this object-oriented stuffs like calling the objects methods using the lambda expressions and delegates, just stick with the this stuff like extension methods. And if you're good with SQL, and if you really like SQL, you wanted to do the C# code just like the SQL, you can, no problem, without any issue, you can stick with the query syntax. We just learned how the basic query syntax as well as the extension methods works. But before getting into the details of LINQ, I would like to explain why actually we need to use LINQ. Okay, so now I'm going to create a action for demonstrating this thing. So why LINQ, and then just return the view. Okay, what I'm going to do is to create a variable data, which is employee data equal to _context dot employees dot, and I'm going to convert those stuff into the collection, which is toList. So here we are having a collection of employee data, and that too in list form. So now here I'm going to create a count variable just to make a track of the records, and then what I'm going to do is to create another list where query emp data is equal to, just like the fetch the salary between 15,000 to 50,000. So here what I'm going to do is to create a new list. Okay, so list of the type employee. Okay, fine. Now I'm just going to iterate this thing for each, and over here I'm going to pass the emp data, which is this particular collection, and I'm going to create a condition, and that condition is basically item dot age, item dot salary is greater than or equal to 15,000, and item dot salary which is less than or equal to 50,000. So if it becomes true, what I'm going to do is to append the data to the list. Okay, so let's do that by query empty data employee data dot add the element, actually the item. Okay, so we're just adding that particular item, and here I'm going to pass the query employee data over here. So not only that, and so here I'm just adding the count, and view bag dot emp count is equal to count. Okay, so I'm just created employee count over here, and let's just create the view for this particular stuff, and the view name is going to be y link.cshtml. Yes, that's it. And now I'm basically going to copy everything over here, and also h4 view bag dot emp underscore count. Okay, so which indicates the total employee count. Okay, fine. So I think everything is right. Now let's just add this stuff over here. There is a label y link and the pages. Okay, that is fine, I think so. Let's check. I just added the collection of data and added those items in this particular list, and we are just passing that list to render into the HTML. Okay, fine. Now let's check that out by reloading this page. Now here we are getting the purpose of link, and let's just click that stuff out of here. Yeah, this is it. The same thing which we get over both of stuff, but you can see the problem, and you can get the 54 employees, and the problem is you need about around 10 lines of code to achieve this concept, but here it's just a couple of lines, or a single line if you wanted to make this more clear. That is the impact and power of language integrated query. So this is the reason that we need to use links in tough situations. So links makes our life a lot easier. And again, we need to add this stuff. Sorry, the error is employees, not employee, because we need to collect the data set, DB set. So now it will work. Let's go to this guy right here, go to the LINQ tutorial, and here, oh wait a minute, inside of the layout, what I need to do is to give some space. So here is the where operator in LINQ. Let's just click that. And here are the 62 employees which satisfy the condition like salary should be less than 15,000. Salary should be greater than 50,000, and the age should be less than 35. So make it more clear, I'm going to add the age for that particular people, employee age, and right after the salary, just add the age, item.age. Okay, so let's check whether, yeah, here it is. The age is less than 35. Right, just like that. The ages are not exceeding the 35, and the count is 62. That's fine. So this is how we can use the where operator. We can do a lot of expressional conditions over here using the where operator. We can also put the or, and we can also make use of the not, those kind of logical stuffs. Now we just learned about using the where operator. Now we are going to learn about ordering the variables. For example, there might be the situations where you need to order the data, order the employee data based on the salary. For example, the salary range of minimum to maximum or maximum to minimum, whatever that you want. You get into the situation kind of these. So let's learn to use the order by extension method using the LINQ. So what I'm going to do is to use the public action result and order by operator, and open it up and return a view, and just where employee data is equal to underscore context dot employees dot order by s a and expression e dot age. So basically, if we didn't specify anything, it will works in an ascending format to list, and let's just pass the emp data. Okay, let's just copy this guy right here and create a new file in the CSHTML, which is ordered by operator.cshtml, and note the action name and the view name should be same. Save this and order by extension method, and yes, finally we have to add this in the layout as a link. Okay, order by. Let's click the order by operator in LINQ. Yes, you can see the age from the ascending order, which means the smaller age to large. Yeah, here it is, from 21 to 55. You can see the total employee count as 150, and in that you are making these things in an ascending order. And you can also do this stuff in a descending way, which means all you need to do is just change this particular extension method to descending. That's it. You don't need any changes to do, only the change in the extension method. And just reload. Yeah, here you can see from 55 to 21. And you can also add the where operator to make this thing really for more feature and functionality. You can also add where operator. For example, where if you wanted to get the employee salary of greater than 15,000, like s dot salary should be greater than 15,000, right? So let's just save that. Or greater than 35,000. Okay. So what it will do is it will filter the collection of data from the salary greater than 35, and on that particular collection it will order the stuffs by descending. So let's just see that. Okay, just reload. Okay, you can see just 117 people are there. So it's just descending the stuff based on our condition, which is the salary should be greater than 35,000. So that's it when it comes to order by operator. That's all you can do using order by operator. Now we just go. And the next thing that we are going to learn is to make use of the group by operator. Group by operator is used in the situations like when you need to classify the data in some cluster. You have to use the group by data, the operator. For example, what if we need to classify the employees based on the age range? For example, For example, if we have 5 employees at the age of 23, and we basically going to classify this age 23 in one group, and we are going to iterate their salaries like 15,000, 16,000, some kind of things like that. So basically that's what the group by operator is used for. And not only this situations, you can use the group by operator in many situations that you want. So let's go ahead and get started to work on that. Action result, group by operator, return view, where employee data is equal to underscore contest dot employee dot group by e dot age. Okay, and here let's just pass the employee data, and now we have to create a new file, the name of group by operator .cshtml. Okay, fine. Go over here, and here I'm just going to create a card. Before that, let's just make use of the for each, where age group in model. Open the stuff, and at age group dot age. Okay, and inside of that I'm going to I'm going to use the age group dot key over here, age group dot key, and that is each group has a key, so we are just making use of that. So again, for each, and here we basically need to use the using website link dot models dot employee. So employee SE in age group. Okay, so let's just open, and then what I'm going to do is the p tag, make use of the p tag, and the class is equal to text muter, and here employee salary is at e dot salary. Okay, so let's save it, and let's just add some bit of design. Class equal to row, and here we are having class equal to call empty for. Okay, fine. So what I'm going to do is to copy all the stuff over here. Copy this, paste it over here. Oops. We are actually getting an error. The error is does not contain key, no accessible key methods. Yeah, the reason is it's better that we can apply the group by in this particular model itself instead of giving it in a controller, so that it cannot identify this key property. So what I'm going to do is, I also missed a list to list here. So I'm just pass the entire data to the view, and over here what I'm going to do is to make use of the group by as e of e dot age. Okay, yep, everything is fine right now, and let's create a p of about 3. Okay, I think the error has been solved now, so let's just add this thing in the layout page. Group by operator. Okay, let's wait for the changes. Okay, now let's just reload this one, and here we can see group by operator in LINQ, and if you click that page, there is 150 counts of data, and you can see the employee age of about the employees at hand. We can also add the employee name over here, and just like this one, e.name, and save it. Yeah, there is no operator called employee name, first name, and space of e dot last name. Okay, let's just look it out. Reload. And instead of this, we can do something interesting over here, and where f name is equal to e dot first name, and where l name is equal to e dot last name, where full name is equal to f name plus l underscore name. Okay, so now I'm just going to add the full name over here. Okay, and if you're using this @ symbol and the curly brace, you can some error. You can basically use the C# code over here, and the error states that @ character. Oops, you don't need this one because you are already in that particular thing. Okay, now it's fine. Let's reload it again. Oops, and one change, employee name or needs to be here instead of employee salary. Yeah, here it is, employee at the age of 32 you're having, and also what we can do, we can split this age group. We can also have a count of it, like p tag, and instead of p, and we can make use of the strong tag, strong. Okay, reload. Oops. Yeah, there is a totally 8 employees at the age of 32 and 38 employees at the age of 2 and 27 employees. This is how you can classify or group by data in using LINQ. Joins is a very simple concept that we already know in SQL, basic SQL, or else even in mathematics in our higher studies. Like intersection, union, those kind of things are named as joins in computer programming or in the SQL database stuffs. Let's say there are two entities like table A and table B, and with a particular column like order or order ID, for example, let's say when those particular column intersects to both the tables, which is known as joins. So taking those particular data are the primary goal. Let's say there is an employee table which consists of first name, last name, salary, and department ID, and in the other table is department, whereas department ID and department name. So for example, if we want to join these two tables, we need to find out the intersection column. We have something like a department ID which is presented in both employee as well as the department. So basically in this scenario, a department ID of 1 which represent the department name of software engineer, and 3 as the testing data analyst. So we have two particular rows which has the department ID, and the other two rows didn't have department ID because those people didn't comes with work under the condition of department or those kind of things there, because they may be in some other technical jobs which doesn't have department stuffs. So the syntax for creating the join is we need to get the particular data table like the departments, whereas the context of department, and use the method called join. And what is the table that we're going to join? In this case, which is the employees table, so we are going to use the model database set as employees. And what are the two primary factors which combines these particular table, which in case here, which is the department ID. So we are selecting, we are creating an anonymous lambda expression, which is also called as anonymous variables. So using that lambda expression, we create a department, an employee, and inside of that department.department ID as well as the employee.department ID. So next we are selecting the data that we want to fetch. So basically we are just selecting the employee's first name, last name, and the department name. So the output will be represented as like this, whereas join data of first name, last name with the particular two columns, because only two columns has the department IDs. So in the previous video, we learned about these things like where operator, method expression, query expressions, group, order by, those kind of things. But now we are going to learn about join. So here we are basically going to join two tables. One is employee and another one is department. And if you go to the database section over here and right click and go to the DBOs, and if you see, there is two things called as department and the department ID. And if you show tables, if you click on show tables, and it will display the result. Whereas 10 departments over here, like it will select top 50 from this thing. And when we check the stuff out in employees, it is also returning the particular things, like about 50 employees, but it's actually more than 50, the result is. And so in this we have something like employee first name, last name, employee ID, country, department ID, salary, age, email, gender, a lot of details. But now we are going to take care of about this department ID in this particular employee table as well as the department table. So here we need to create a variable. Data is equal to the first, we need to select the which table that we need to join, so department table. And here we need to select the inner sequence, which means the other table that we need to join, whereas in this case, which is the employee table. So then here we need to set the two key selectors. One is outer key selector and another one is inner key selector, whereas the outer key selector is the department equal to department ID. The inner key selector is we need to set the hash bracket, not the variable name. A typo. So employee and lambda expression is a hash rocket and employee dot department ID. Okay, this is the inner key selector. So then we need to pass the two data, department comma employee, and we need to set the projection. This is called the projection area, which means what are the variables or what are the data that we want to fetch. Like let's say if we want first name, and inside the CSHTML I just applied some boilerplate code, and now we are going to create a for each statement. Instead of the items, we are going to basically pass the viewBag.data collection that we passed in the controller, and here, and we can set the div call class equal to call md4. It's better. Then div class card. So here you can pass the item and it will display the data that we fetched over here. So now we just test it by running this particular thing. So for that, just open up the terminal over here. So go to the website LINQ folder and .NET watch, run. And here we can put home/join. And here it is, you can get the output. For a bit better padding, we just give something like B3 and M1 so that we can get some enough padding. So that's the power of .NET Watch. If you use the command as watch, it will monitor your changes in these particular assembly. So it's better to use .NET Watch when you are using Visual Studio Code, because in Visual Studio it is available by default when you do start without debugging things. So here it is, the first name, last name and the department. This is the things that we fetched from first name and the department name, and these are all only if it is particularly matched the particular departments, like if the constraint is matched according to the inner join condition. So the next thing is group join, which is very similar to inner join. In the previous video, if you don't watch the previous video, please go and watch and come here, then only you can understand what's going on. And in the previous video we just created this thing like group by operator based on age, how many members are there, something like that we can get. But here we can, very similar to this, we can also create a group join. Though it is very similar, you can try it out. The only thing that you need to change over here is just by changing this to group join, the method name from group join. The group join is, you can group the particular collective of data based on the department. For example, if you have a department ID 1 as a software department, you can get the employees who are all in the department ID of 1. So for that, the syntax is this. You can try it out. All you need to do is to use the group join instead of join, and other than that, all the other codes are very similar. You can try it out if you want. And if you want the dataset, I can also provide you the dataset via the CSV, which is available in the link. So after learning about the joins, now we are basically going to learn about the other miscellaneous stuff which is available in LINQ. So the next thing that we basically going to learn is we can create a query like employees.var, create a lambda expression where the gender which is equal to something like a male. Okay, so and then we can wrap it up with toList, and we can pass this stuff as a view bag dot data, which is equal to data, right? So if you go over here to here, and you can also create a same kind of thing, just like we do in join. So copy that code, and instead, yeah, everything's okay. But now here we can create employee name, like whatever fields that we can retrieve. We can get almost every field, like at item dot age, something like that, right? So we can get all the fields over here. So let's go and check it out here and restart. And here I'm just going to type other stuffs. Click other stuffs. Actually, I'm getting some error. The reason is, I think we don't have the name of employee name. Let's check the model. So it's just the first name or last name. So I just made a mistake over here. So now just reload the thing. Yeah, here we are getting these particular things, but the problem is we can almost get every columns. So let's say we only need a couple of columns or 3 columns. We don't need other columns. So at that case, we can use the select method or select operator to compensate that thing, which is very equivalent to SQL, where select instead of star we can use the column names by putting commas. So for that I can do something like dot select method. Let's see, let's get it to the next line. Select here, what I can do is put a new select s a lambda expression of new, and then put a curly brace over here. Select, inside of the select I can keep the name as e dot first name comma last name equal to e dot last name, and age equal to e dot age. Okay, so now come back to the this stuff, and here I added the item dot last name, and now I'm going to add the gender as well as. So after adding these things, I just so now let's go and check it out. This is the syntax that I wanted to use. You need to set the instance name and set the lambda expression of the key selector values, and just reload this page. Let's see if everything works correct. So here we are getting an error. So the problem is you should add type, because it cannot recognize, it is unable to recognize the anonymous type. So I just explicitly declare the type of particular object or instance. So now try this again once it is compiled. Yeah, here it is. And if we go and check out this particular thing, like in the view, we are having first name, last name, age, gender, but the problem is we are not getting any values from the gender because we are just retrieving these three columns. So this is the power of the select statement. So this is what we can do using select statement, select method. So we have learned the primary things in links using the ASP.NET Core, and now we are by using the particular knowledge of what we learned, we can also do things using the Anaconda software, which is the prime software for data scientists as well as the Python developers or Python machine learning developers. So yesterday I posted a video on how to install Anaconda Navigator software and how to integrate C# programming language with it. So we just going to launch this. Once this particular Jupyter page is opened, you can create a new folder or file, and here you can get the new C# workbook. So basically you can create a new C#. I already created it, so I'm opening it. So I just added a few code in it, like a class which consists of properties like ID, name, price, quality, and I also added the product sample data. So if I use the particular collection over here and click, and I will get these things over here like ID, name. This is a very excellent way of exploring the data by line. You haven't seen C# line by line until now, because you just you might see the .NET or C# languages in Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code as a particular folder, but you haven't experienced these kind of ripple way of programming. So let's just explore how to do how to make use of LINQ using this way, because this will be very interesting. So we just until now we just learned about select, and now we are going to explore about all, any, and what contains thing. So this is let's say I create where price is greater than 50,000. Okay, so price, max price. I create a variable like max price inside products dot all. Okay, and the product all, and the condition is going to be s dot price should be greater than 50,000. Okay, so let's check it out. Put semicolon, and you can also type max price over here. So it is returning false because basically it is so basically these three operators or deal with Boolean thing, whether it is present or not, or is there any data available as per this condition, or all the data are available under these conditions. So this is what so if I check whether the price is greater than 50,000, which means I am telling that all the product prices is greater than 50,000. No, because here 7,800, 20,000, 30,000, and let's say I just put this as a 5,000. Now I'll again run it true, because the very minimum price over here is 7,800. Okay, so that is what it's all about. So, and I can also make use of the any, like any price equal to products dot any is dot price is less than 10,000. So I'm just asking it whether any product is less than 10,000. It's saying yes, true, because here is a product which is about 7,800. So let's just check out the contains operator. Okay, I'm just going to add a row to satisfy this particular contain operator thing. Samsung phone and Samsung tablet. I just split this stuff into two things. Okay, okay, let's run this. To run this particular thing, you can run using this particular run or shift enter. Okay, yeah, this condition will fail because there is a product of 1,800. Okay, fine. Now let's check any Samsung products available. So my condition is I want to get all the Samsung products. Product dot where s dot contains Samsung inside of it. Okay, Samsung. So a couple of data is there. So let's just test it out. Oh, sorry, s dot. I need to use the identifier, which is name dot contains. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There is an error over here. We just made a big typo over here. Samsung. It's actually Samsung. So after changing this, I have to run from here. Yeah, I'm getting the two rows over here. That's working perfectly fine up to that. And we can also make use of the aggregate functions, which is average, count, sum, minimum, maximum. So let's go through it. And these things will be very same, which we can apply in ASP.NET Core also. We saw that thing previously by using views, actions, kind of stuff. But the only thing that I'm doing here is to explore the feature of Jupyter Notebook within the C#. So, okay, let's just find the average of all products prices. Okay, so products dot average s of s, and which column that we need to specify using the lambda expression, which is price. So here we get the average price, which is 31,966. If you have any doubt, just go through the calculator by adding up all the numbers and just dividing it by the sum of products. And the next thing is count. Okay, let's see how the count works. Yeah, there is totally 6 products. And let's say about the sum. So I need to specify the lambda expression of what column that I need to calculate. Let's say about this price, and here it is, 1,91,800. And maximum. Let's find out the maximum value over here. Yeah, again I need to specify what column that I wanted to take. 60,000 is the maximum. Yep, 60,000 laptop is the maximum. And minimum, let's check out the minimum. $7,800 is the minimum, which is exactly a correct answer. And we can use element at operator. So instead of retrieving data based on this particular values or columns, we can get the elements based on this particular index. Okay, so let's check it out and how to do that. Element and products dot element at is the method, and here we need to specify the 0 over here. Okay, so let's type the LE. Here we are getting the first index value, and if we type 4, we can get the 4th element. And we can also use element or default thing. Okay, both are very similar. So the only difference between this thing and this thing is if the index value exceed more than 6 or 8, here it will throw an exception. But if we do something like this over here, it didn't throw the exception, because it's just returning a default value of the particular thing. The default value is null. So it's better to use element or default. So in most of the cases, it will help you better through avoiding the errors in the production. So the same thing, same kind of things available over here. If you want to get a first element of the product, you can use the method called first or default method. Okay, So, and this very similar thing which applies for last as well, products dot last dot default. Here it is. And finally you have something like a single element, for example, and now we can check about take and skip over here. And if you, well, let's say where products equal to products, where quantity, yes, lambda expression, yes dot quantity is 0. So price is greater than 5,000. Okay, price is greater than 5,000, and what I can do is I can take only 2. Okay, I don't get any rest of those things. So if I type product, I only get 2 things, which is the first one and the second one. Okay, and if I type the very opposite thing, which is skip, it will skip the first 2 and it will get all the rest of it. Okay, that is what the take and skip is all about. And a very similar thing, and we also have distinct, intercept, and union. So now let's just learn about the distinct. Let's just try out a new data, like creating a string of data. One, like apple, banana, and again I'm just using the apple, and here I'm putting the orange. If I say data dot distinct, if I call the data dot distinct method, yeah, I need to pass the string over here. So I'm here only getting the apple. The reason is this particular apple is removed. That is what the intersect is all about. Sorry, distinct. That is what the distinct is all about. So let's say again, same example for intersect. I'm taking this data2 where new list of string. I'm just going to copy this couple of things over here. And cabbage and beetroot. So here I'm having 2 data. Okay. So here I'm having 2 data. So I'm going to compare it. So using the comp variable, so data dot intersect of data2. Okay. So let's just comp. So apple and banana is the intersection of the 2 tables. Okay. And here we can also use the union. In the same example, I'm just going to apply it for union by changing this to union method. And this is it. This is correct. The reason this is correct is it will just returns a distinct data from both the collection, because you're having 2 apples, but it's just getting the one, because it always returns distinct kind of data. So we also have, and this is final. We have except variable, and so the same example I'm going to apply except of data2. So except orange. So if you compare these two, which is in the data2, what are the data which is not available, which means not present in the data2, which is orange. So, and you can do this vice versa. You can get the cabbage and beetroot. So this is what you can make use of LINQ. We just learned a lot of things using LINQ in the previous 2 episodes, and This is what is all about LINQ. You can make use of LINQ. You can achieve a lot of very informative things, and even you can also do data mining stuff using. So that's it for this particular video. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe, and if you have any queries or doubt, just comment it below. Thank you.